a lot of people contact us on our website and they want to know how do they manage their crazy emotions during divorce. So this video is for you if you find yourself really spinning out as a result of your divorce. So first things first, if you are spinning out as a result of your divorce, it's actually pretty normal to be doing that. First things first, divorce is a shame-based identity crisis. It's a trauma. It is something traumatic that you are going through, and you need to kind of give yourself a little bit of a break that you're not yourself, because none of us are ourselves when we go through trauma. Now, it's a shame-based identity crisis because, first of all, we're really hard on ourselves about things in life that we think we should be successful at. And relationships is one area of life that human beings have high expectations of themselves succeeding at. So when we fail at it, we're really hard on ourselves, and that's not great. So we can tend to feel some shame or some guilt or weirdness when things don't work out, and we can really kind of beat ourselves up as a result of that. So that shame thing really doesn't help us feel emotionally regulated. Next thing, identity crisis. Yeah, because by being in that relationship, we identified as being part of that partnership. Now that that's been broken open, we don't know who we are without that label, without that kind of security blanket that was there. This can produce a lot of dysregulation for a lot of people. So give yourself a break if you are feeling not yourself, okay? That's the first thing. The second thing is that when we are going through a divorce, there's a lot of uncertainty, there's a lot of unknowns. It can affect your finances, it can affect your living situation. It can affect your children, which can be very dysregulating for parents when they can see their children being dysregulated as well. That anytime people have one or two things that are kind of changing in their life simultaneously, it can cause a huge level of stress and surge of cortisol, which is the stress hormone within our body. So give yourself a break if you are feeling dysregulated as a result of that. Next thing to think about is that we have crazy emotions because our old mechanisms within our body that govern the autonomic nervous system is kind of kicking off on its own tangent at the same time. This is why you're not you when you go through trauma. You're not you because your parasympathetic nervous system has moved from nice, calm ventral vagals, shot up into the sympathetic nervous system, activating adrenaline, noradrenaline through your bloodstream. Cortisol starts to rise. It's needed when it's in balance to kind of regulate blood flow and blood pressure and things within the body. But too high, it starts to suppress the nice working of the hippocampus within the brain. When we don't have a nice working hippocampus, that calm little secretary in our brain that tells us to relax and be regulated, she ain't online. So the hippocampus is vital for us to not only calmly rationalize things, but also to make nice memories. So when that mechanism isn't working properly, we cannot make nice memories in nice autobiographical fashion. We have fragments of memories all over the place. Our concentration is all over the place. We are not ourselves. We feel strange. We feel hijacked. We don't sleep well when cortisol is dysregulated, when our adrenaline is all over the place and we're not getting that adrenaline surge removed from the body, we are also not able to kind of function really well. So the hormones are not working well. Then it also starts to interfere with the serotonin and dopamine neurotransmitters. When those don't work really well, we can feel really antsy, really tight jaw, the pain in your chest, because the neurotransmitters are vital to running almost every process within the body. So when these things are misfiring and all over the place, we're not ourselves. So don't blame yourself if you're not like acting normally as you go through this. The key thing is when you know that like you're going through something a bit hectic, lots of changes occurring, you're not you because your body and all its mechanisms have gone a bit haywire. Don't add fuel to the fire by trying to do really hectic and crazy things at the same time. So this is not the time to book a flight to Bali to go and find yourself. This is not the time to shave your head. This is not the time to, do something crazy and go buy a Corvette. This is not the time to quit your job and like start a new business or do anything hectic. So sleep on any major changes you're about to make. Check how much you're actually sharing with your environment. Like, are you oversharing with people because you're so dysregulated? Are you sharing stuff with somebody at the water fountain at your office that is kind of highly inappropriate? Are you telling everyone at work that your wife has been sleeping with your boss? Like, are you running around and doing kind of cray-cray things? It just isn't recommended to take major action when we're in this dysregulated space. Why? Because although it might meet some needs in the short term, it might undermine other needs in the long term. It might undermine who you are for yourself within your own code and your own ethics. And you might not necessarily be cognizant of all the repercussions when you're taking these extreme actions. The next thing to be aware of is that when you're in this kind of environment of crazy, is to watch what are you putting into your body. This is not a time for drinking tons of alcohol, because alcohol really messes with our cortisol levels within our body. This is not a time for lots of stimulants, really messes with cortisol and adrenaline. So watch your caffeine intake, watch your alcohol intake. I really would caution how much of those two substances you're having within your body. Watch how much sugar you're consuming. Too much sugar can also dysregulate your neurotransmitters and hormones. So throwing your nose into a tub of Ben & Jerry's, drinking lots of wine, fine. In the short term, you're going to feel better because it just numbs you out like nothing else. But within a few hours, you're going to regret it. You're going to be feeling worse. And it also lasts like the day after and the day after that. It's not the best survival and coping mechanisms in this time. What you really need to be doing to stop feeling crazy and spinning out is you've got to get into a really stable foundation and routine. You've got to get a little bit boring. You've got to do what's good for you, not just what feels good, right? So don't do what you want right now to compromise what you want the most. What you want the most is to kind of get through this like difficult time. So sometimes doing what we want the most, we need to let go of what we want to make us feel better right now. You need some delayed gratification. And to do that, you've got to be a little bit compassionate with yourself, kind to yourself, but also a little bit of a balance of ruthlessly compassionate with yourself. In other words, kick yourself a little bit up the butt to do what you know to do that is good for you, not just what feels good. In other words, all right, we're going to get up, we're going to go to the gym, we're going to go for a walk, we're going to feel better if we do that. I don't feel like it. Doesn't matter. Put your shoes on and let's go. I know you don't want to eat this salad right now and you just want to drink a bottle of wine, but we're going to eat the salad right now because that's good for us. Okay? No, we're not going to be drinking 6 cups of coffee to feel better today. We're going to have herbal teas. We'll have 1 coffee, but for most of the day we'll have herbal teas because it's going to be good for us. Okay? So it's a kind of treating yourself a little bit like a hospital patient that's in recovery, but a little bit of an athlete as well that needs to be on a rigorous program where you are keeping to some kind of routine and system. In our programs, we have very, very rigorous stabilization systems before we process what has happened from a trauma perspective. And that stabilization mechanism is crucial for people really achieving the results that they do within our courses. So if you want to find out a little bit about that, you want to stop spinning out and take some control back in your life, book a clarity call and come and find out about how our programs work and get yourself more self-regulated today.